Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Thiru M.K. Stalin sir, for inviting all of us to this very important meeting. Honorable Chief Minister of Kerala, Shri Pinarayi Vijayan sir, Honorable Chief Minister of Telangana, Revanth Reddy Garu, Honorable Chief Minister of Punjab, Shri Bhagwan Singh Manji, Honorable former Chief Minister of Odisha, Shri Naveen Patnaik ji, my brother and Deputy Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Shri Udayanidhi Stalin ji, Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, Shri D.K. Shivkumar ji, and to all the representatives of various political parties from across India, I sincerely thank you for joining this very important meeting. I come from Telangana and I represent the Bharat Rashtra Samiti, which has led a movement for 14 years for the formation of Telangana under the leadership of our leader, Shri K. Chandrasekhar Rao. When Mr. Vijayan spoke about tyranny of majority, sir, we understand what exactly it means to come out of a larger setup and create a small state. We fought against Delhi, and we fought against the forces for about 14 years to achieve our dream. A long fraught battle it was. We of course draw a lot of inspiration from the people of Tamil Nadu on how to preserve our identity and fight for our rights in a federal setup, because the whole Dravidian movement is a beacon of light for all of us across the country in terms of fighting for our rights and fighting for our spirit. We of course also are aware that the 5 South Indian states are at the receiving end, as was enunciated by Shri Vijayan ji, Shri Revanth Reddy ji, and also eloquently by D.K. Shivkumar ji, of the union government's policies. Despite demonstrating robust growth across sectors, these states have been victims of apathy and discrimination. Let me remind all of us, we live in the world's largest democracy, India. But democracy should not become a mobocracy. We cannot let numbers dictate terms. We cannot let numbers dictate policies. While any true federal government would incentivize high-performing states, we have a dispensation today in India that rewards laggards and penalizes achievers. South Indian states, we all know, have been pioneers in administration, in education, in economic production, yet we are penalized with reduced political power. This is not just an imbalance, but it is a political and fiscal centralization that is looming large. History will not forgive us if we do not speak up, because this is the time. I think we have to unite. We have to fight against this fundamental inequity. We also need to remember those who have contributed significantly cannot be penalized, cannot be discriminated against. Despite contributing to 36% of India's GDP from the 5 southern states, we are receiving smaller share of central resources, which is also raising a huge concern on fiscal centralization. Delimitation will also create a situation where fiscal resources will also be centralized, much to the chagrin, much to the detriment of South Indian states. If we allow this to continue, I fear that as South Indian leaders, we will be doing a great disservice to our future generations. So history will not forgive us, let me repeat, if we do not speak up now. Discrimination against the South is not a new phenomenon. However, it has reached alarming proportions in the last 1 decade. From forcible imposition of Hindi to projects like bullet trains only being confined to the northern part of India, union government's initiatives are clearly discriminating against the southern states. To make matters worse, the BJP-led union government is now attempting to implement delimitation on basis of population, adding insult to injury. I'd like to begin by quoting a renowned jurist who once famously said, "A true federation does not allow any region to dominate another, nor does it permit the dilution of democratic representation based on transient factors." So if Lok Sabha seats are increased on population basis, it could prove detrimental not just to South India but also to our friends from Punjab. If not approached cautiously, if not approached with utmost caution, this could impact India's federal balance and heighten regional disparities. We all are Indians first, and then I think we have sub-regional identities, and we cannot have that be challenged. India is not a collection of administrative units. It is a pluralistic, ethno-linguistic union of states. We are unlike any homogeneous composition like China or Russia. We certainly are not against money being given to lagging states or backward regions, but the fact is, we are not against money of central government going to some states, but we are against hegemony. We are against this superior feeling that, one region is above another. As we are all aware, as was mentioned by all the leaders here, The freeze on seat allocation happened in 1971 after the census. Then the South India effectively started controlling population. Of course, we all know the story. Now today, we're about 24% as was pointed out by Telangana CM. But North, the percentage of population has increased, and my brother gave a very nice presentation on what will happen if we go on with the population basis. The only point I would like to make here, if seats are redistributed purely on pro rata population basis, states that have failed to control population will be rewarded, as was put eloquently by Vijayan sir. This is a perverse reward for somebody who has not performed and for somebody who has diligently followed the guidelines of Government of India. Punishing us with reduced representation is certainly discriminatory. India's democracy must be built on progress, governance and economic contribution, not just population. A fair system should reward progress and encourage development in lagging regions. If India has to become a superpower by 2047, 100 years after we achieved independence, we must empower those driving the growth, not silence them. We must empower those who have done well over the last 7 decades and not punish them. Why do we not trust the words of Union Home Minister who says it will be pro rata and nobody will lose representation? I'll give you a classic example of Telangana. When the new state of Telangana was formed in 2014, we were given a promise in the State Reorganization Commission that the delimitation exercise will be taken up in both Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, and the number of seats in Telangana would be raised, MLA seats, that is, assembly seats, from 119 to 153 in Telangana, from 175 to 225 in Andhra. 11 years since then, and it's an act of the parliament, but no action has been initiated because it is inconvenient for BJP to increase the seats. Where it is convenient for them in Jammu and Kashmir and Assam, they've gone ahead and conducted delimitation. Where it is inconvenient for them in Andhra and Telangana, they've kept it aside. Why do we not trust them? Because, their action, their history speaks otherwise. Today, the union government has indulged in cesses. They've come out with cesses, a formula which basically deprives the states of devolution, of a rightful share in devolution. It's a constitutional right. Therefore, we have apprehensions. Therefore, we have a lot of doubts about the center's intentions. But I also would like to propose a few possible suggestions towards solutions. If the central government is determined to proceed with delimitation, I think as Stalin sir put it, fair delimitation is the ask. It should be fair, it should be just, and Dr. Baba Saheb, when he put these 3 words in constitution, I think he meant it for situations like this: equality, liberty, and fraternity. Now, if they would want to go ahead and do the delimitation because they have the numbers, then we have to ensure that the current proportion of each state remains as it is. If Tamil Nadu has about 39, is it? 39 and Telangana has 17 with increased numbers also, our percentage should also increase proportionately. And it should not come down, our voice should not come down. If a state currently has 2% of the total parliament seats, even after delimitation, also the state should have 2% share of the seats. As Mr. Mann was pointing out, his numbers will increase technically, but percentage will come down, which defeats the whole purpose. The second suggestion could be, as some people are proposing, a permanent, freeze could be also brought in. We can say that 1971, the census could be the basis and there could be no further increase in the number of seats. Another alternative approach could be, again, this could be a radical solution. As one of my friends asked, what is the basis for Telangana CM's recommendation of 33%? I would say, if South India is contributing 36% to GDP, why don't you give us 36% of the voice in parliament? What is wrong? Why are you not rewarding those states that have performed exceptionally well in nation building? If nation building can happen by way of contribution from states, then why not reward those states that have done very well? Sir, I would only say fiscal contribution, I think, also has to be taken. It cannot just be population. No one can ignore, because since even D.K. Shivkumar Anna mentioned fiscal contribution, let me point out, Telangana is only 2.8% of India's population, but we contribute to 5.2% of India's GDP. We're literally punching double our weight. We cannot be penalized, we cannot be snubbed, we cannot be undermined in terms of our voice in parliament, which is a travesty of justice. One thing I would also like to add, and this is a possibly practical solution. Sir, a true representative democracy is one where people's voices are heard. Why is delimitation being proposed? Because population has increased and people's voices have to be heard. If people's voices have to be heard, increase the number of MLA seats in each state. You go ahead, increase the number of MLA seats, because typically MLAs are the first port of call for people, not MPs. MPs only voice concerns on larger national policies in Parliament. But MLAs are the first port of call. So I would propose that the national government come forward, union government come forward with a proposal. In lieu of increased population across the country, let us increase number of assembly seats in each state so that people are having more access to their MLAs, more decentralized setup. Also, I would like to say this is a fair formula because I think, most states would be happy to see more representation. Finally, I would like to remind the union government from this forum, sir, that India is a union of states. Constitution clearly says we are a union of states. We are, like Pinarayi Vijayan sir said, federalism is not a gift. It is our right. So let us remind union government that our founding fathers stitched this great country together with immense grit, determination and tenacity. They understood that India is one of the most diverse nations on this planet and therefore thoughtfully incorporated essential concessions and guarantees into our constitution to build a strong foundation of mutual trust. Sadly, that very foundation is now being shaken by the current regime in New Delhi. Political representation for states in the Lok Sabha is a crucial and a very deeply emotive issue. The union government cannot be callous. They must not take any hasty steps without broad and inclusive consultations involving the people, political parties, state governments, independent activists, people's organizations and civil society groups as well. India has just completed 75 years of its existence. Our national leadership should strive to heal the old wounds rather than create new ones. Union government should act like a big brother, not big boss. As a renowned scholar and statesman once said, the federal structure of India must ensure that no state, however small or large, it could be Manipur or it could be Uttar Pradesh, feels neglected in governance. Finally, cooperative federalism will make India stronger. Stronger the states, stronger the country. Cooperative federalism will make India stronger, not coercive federalism. Jai Telangana, Jai Hind. Thank you, Stalin sir.